Hey Hologains Challenge folks, so this is the first of one of many videos that we're going to put out for you guys. We want to keep these videos coming to you guys so that you can use them, all right? I know there's a lot of information in the PDF and we encourage you guys to keep checking that out, all right? We put a lot of time into that and we made it so that that's something you guys can continually just reference and look back at. These videos that we're going to put out to you guys, we also want you to kind of do the same thing. Maybe just plug these in, listen to them while you're driving, or maybe kind of, I know a lot of us like to listen to podcasts while we're doing different things, going on walks. So I want you to kind of be able to use these in that same way, reference them often, and kind of keep coming back to them for ideas and new inspiration.
Yeah, we know it can be helpful just to like constantly be hearing different ideas like this. And I do want to provide you guys like with a written post as well, just because that can be a little bit faster to get through. But I definitely think the videos really help things sink in on another level, and you can do it while you're multitasking.
So this video.
Yes, this video is going to be our favorite meal prep strategies. So some of you might already have a great routine for meal prep, but some of you probably don't have any kind of routine. So basically what we wanted to do today, we think could be helpful for everyone, just running through our current strategies and our favorite techniques.
And start the conversation too. So this will be where you guys drop it in the comments, things that you've done or what works for you, or your version or your spin on some of these ideas.
Mm-hmm. So we'll go ahead and launch in. Our first, number one biggest tip is just to plan for leftovers. The reason why we love this so much is because you're not having to do anything extra or go out of your way. You're simply cooking your dinner. Let's say you're cooking tonight, Monday night, and you buy a little more than you normally would. And then you can bring this same food, which you were already cooking for dinner anyways, to lunch the next day on Tuesday.
So how this looks for us, like I think this is great because we like to cook together and have dinner together, right? So it forces you to, and I've timed this, take 1 hour, prep your dinner, cook your dinner, clean up afterwards. So I love that because like a lot of people think of how much time it takes to clean up and stuff like that. It's like we're pretty efficient with it, but you can do it in an hour. So it looks like cooking just a little bit more than what you're going to eat for the evening. So if you're doing steak, potatoes, and a vegetable, that means cook the whole batch of asparagus, cook extra potatoes so that when you finish, you have at least 1 to 2 meals ready for the next day that you guys can just package up in a Tupperware and break those out at lunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also something people like about that is you're not having to do this massive bulk prep where you go out of your way to dedicate 3 hours on your weekend, because most people realistically don't enjoy doing that. And you're mostly probably making maybe 1 to 2 extra meals, so you're not getting tired of it eating it like 6 days in 1 week. So that's kind of nice too.
Yep.
Our number 2 biggest tip, this one is actually probably my personal favorite, just because we've been doing it I think for like maybe 1 or 2 years now, and it's been really helpful to us. And that is making a big, really easy crock pot meal on either Sunday or Monday.
Bridget loves this because of the easy part.
Yes. Yeah. I like cooking, but I also like things that taste good that are really easy to make too. And crock pots, I think, do the job really well. Typically what we'll do is pick something that is, you can throw it together in 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't have a million ingredients, doesn't have a ton of chopping, and then just throw it in the crock pot either Sunday during the day or Sunday night. And what we do with that meal is just kind of use it throughout the week as needed. So we might bring it to lunch a few days during the week. We also might do it for dinner one night when we're super busy. Basically, it just provides you with options so you're not going to run out of stuff.
Yep, and we like to, like Bridget says, be specific. So some crock pot recipes might take like cook for 2 hours, or you've got like stuff cooking in sauteing in a pan and then in a crock pot. Like we like to bypass all that. So if you guys have some crock pot recipes that are just like that, like throw it in the one pot, like share those, because we'll be sharing the same version. We like the crock pot recipes that let the crock pot do like all the work for you.
For sure. Number 3 is something that we recommend everybody does to some extent, and that's going to be having fast, easy options on hand on the days where you might feel like you don't have any other options. So the easiest version of this is probably going to look like a protein bar or a shake. I took out one bar, the Outright bar. This is one that I'm a big fan of. Tastes amazing. It's not the most macro friendly for those of you who are trying to save a little bit on the fats and carbs, but for those of you who are increasing your calories and eating more than you're used to, it could actually be very helpful. Obviously at Eddie's Health Shop, we've got tons of different protein bar options for any diet type, any taste preference. So if you do have questions about what bars would be good for your macros specifically, comment down below or send us a message, because we are the people to ask about that.
Definitely. Shakes are another good option, especially gentlemen. So we have a larger macronutrient goal at the end of the day. I'll tell you, I just drank a shake right now. So we use the protein powders in the foods a lot, but just doing a shake with almond milk, once, twice a day if you need to, is clutch. The other thing we got on here is sandwiches. So this is huge for me. Day one of the challenge, I already started with sandwiches. So that's, for me, that's up to 500 or 600 calories using a bagel on it, but it's just fast. You can make it in the morning if you need to. You can make it the day before. You can make it quickly on hand. And it's actually sandwiches with lunch meat, a regular amount of cheese and condiments on there is a really, really great clean option.
Yeah, and one nice thing about it, like deli meat and bread and cheese, like they do expire, but they don't expire extremely fast. So you can kind of have them on hand for a while and use them as needed. So I think that's nice. I do really like the Boar's Head brand of meat, just because they're a little bit less processed than some of the ones you might find that might have a little bit more like chemicals and additives in there. So that is just something to keep in mind. And honestly, I think it tastes really good too.
Yep.
So
meal preps?
Meal prep.
Yeah,
yes,
meal prep company.
Meal prep companies. We've used them from time to time. What would you say that your favorite was?
The ones that we do at the pickup at the store. So
the
Eat Well Nashville. We've tried a few. That's the one that I was actually really surprised at how great it tasted, and the content of the meals. So
they're very simple. They don't try to be over the top. You can kind of see the ingredients you're looking at, shrimp, rice, asparagus, whatever it is. So they're very clean. You know what you're getting. They taste really fresh.
The price is really good too, honestly. So I mean, we were getting 5 to 7 meals a week for around $50. If that seems like a lot to you, I don't think it is. It's easy to blow that going out to eat one night, and this is something that can affect you and help you hit your goals for multiple days of the week. So I definitely encourage you guys, if you're struggling and you don't mind spending the extra money, go for some meal prep. We have recommendations specifically on companies. You guys just send us a message or drop in the comments what you would be willing to try, but I think it's a great option.
Yeah, so just to throw this out there for anybody that is in Knoxville, the Eat Well meals, you can pick them up from a few different locations. The Eddie's Health Shop West Knoxville location is actually a pickup for that. So with pickup locations, you have to order online and then come in the next week and pick it up. And then we do actually sell the frozen Clean Eats meals in both of our stores. And there's 2 Clean Eats locations in Knoxville that you can pick up meals from as needed. And for those of you who aren't located in Knoxville, there's tons of companies that ship nationwide.
Deliver too, right to your doorstep.
Yeah, so I know about Trifecta, Flex Pro meals, Icon meals, MegaFit meals. So there are tons of options. And honestly, depending on where you're at, if the idea of cooking and meal prepping is 100% overwhelming to you, then this might be a great place to start consistently. But if you're someone who has a pretty good routine down, but you like to have something planned for weeks where you're a little bit busier or you're going to be super stressed, I think it's good to plan that out too.
Yep, helps out a ton.
And our 5th and final strategy for meal prep is going to be simply bulk prepping. So this might look like your typical meal prep, like making, 3 different things on a Sunday or Saturday, but it could also just look like making a bunch of rice all at once. We know some of you grill a bunch of meat all at once. So basically it's just making a lot of single ingredients. So a lot of protein, a lot of carbs, a lot of fats, and then just having those on hand to mix and match throughout the week.
Yep, it makes it a lot easier, I think. It doesn't have to be a full meal prep all the time when you cook. If you've got time, or if maybe you're making something extra. This happens with us with potatoes a lot, I feel like. So because we were able to cook a whole lot at one time. It's just a great option. Throw them in a Tupperware, keep them in the fridge. You might just need to break them out. And again, part of this season that we're trying to go through is one of staying fed. So even if it's just a carb that you have in the fridge, sometimes that's better than going 4 or 5 hours without eating. So
for sure. So I think that was basically everything we wanted to cover about meal prep. Hopefully this gave you some ideas. We know You might already have a routine, but even throwing in one of these steps could be helpful for a lot of you guys.
Yeah, y'all drop your responses in the comments here. What do you think about these things? What versions are you doing that work for you, and anything else that comes to mind, guys? We're loving the engagement so far in the group, and we want to keep it up and keep it high. So let's drop it in the comments.